Okay, so if you are now ready, I'd like to present the template that we are proposing teachers to, or for this particular workshop to follow, just to have a guide in developing a study guide or a module. So this format basically follows elements that are required by the DepEd in doing a module, but there are also some parts that we had deleted just for the sake of this
Presentation.
workshop. So following the example that I presented this morning about the 4A's, the 5E's, and the C judge, ano yung pangatlo ay act, we are attempting to let you make your own lesson, o kahit na basic ano lang, hindi na muna yung mga detailed na ano, mga elements. So let's go through this template, no? So if you want to have a cover page, siyempre you may want to improve this later on, but as of now we don't have time for yung mga aesthetics, no? So it's enough that you can put your name of school and logo on the first page, Christian Living Education, Values Education, and the grade level. Quarter, kayo na ang pumili. So the first thing that you do is to get the copy of the matrix of your curriculum guide. So meron ba kayong kopya noon? That's the first Kung wala, hingin ninyo sa kung sino may kopya sa school nyo, kasi lahat naman ng eskwela nabigyan. And we told you to bring your copies today, no? So kung anong grade 5, tignan nyo yung matrix doon. At yun yung i-develop nyo dito. So anong quarter at anong module number, lagyan na yung module number, then prepared by name and your position as a teacher in grade 1 or coordinator in the grade school, etc. And then the curriculum standards, I would like you to to copy, cut and paste what you have there in your matrix, yung curriculum guide, at nandito yung pipiliin niyo dito yung topic ng lesson, pati corresponding doctrine, morals, content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, just like what I presented to you this morning again. Then deduce the learning objectives. It may be if sa learning competencies nyo kukunin dito sa column na ito, no? Yung column na ito, learning competencies. So sometimes the learning competencies are too broad. Then you have to unpack it. And sometimes there are a lot or sometimes the learning competency is too specific that it could be used already as a learning objective. Okay yon. Pero kapag medyo complex yung LC, then you have to unpack. Kung ano lang yung kaya ng isang lesson, yun lang ilagay. Sometimes in a particular topic, there are a lot of mga learning competencies, mga hanggang 1 to 8 kung minsan, 1 to 7. Pero of course, you cannot accomplish all those learning competencies in one shot or in one learning module. So you just choose which ones you are able to do for today, no? So you put the learning objectives, mga 1, 2, 3, hanggang 4 siguro, malami na yung 5. And then put the index. Ano itong index na ito? Yung merong index doon sa matrix na sinasabi ko, merong index yung learning, itong column na ito, yung learning competencies, merong index niyan. Yung kung grade 7, gaya ng ibigay ko kaninang umaga, if you were here already this morning, you would have seen what I presented as an example of a lesson that follows the models, the 4A's, 5E's, at saka Judge Act, no? And yung unang yung code ay yung grade level, Roman numeral 7 kapag kapag Roman numeral 7 dot top, ay ano ba yan? Ayaw na. Ayaw na. Ano ba itong numeral 7 tapos topic or unit 1. Pagka unit 1, ayaw naman.
Nilagay mo sa loob.
Bakit ayaw ako magsulat? Ano bang ginagawa niyo dito sa aking ayaw 1? At saka that's topic unit 1, kung ibig sabihin nun. Topic 3, for instance, topic 3. Bakit ayaw Topic 3, at saka learning competency 2. Yan. So ibig sabihin niyan, meron niyang code yung LC na ilalagay ninyo dito sa learning objective. Okay? So resources, materials, references, pwede niyo skip for lack of time, pwede niyo skip muna 'yon. But of course, I think that most of you, if not all, are in your homes now. You have your own resources. You have your own references. You should have a CL textbook in the grade level that you are teaching, and then ESP questions sa pagpapatao or values education book in your possession right now, so that you can have some references, kasi wala pang nagagawa libro that is based on the integrated curriculum. So the first part of the lesson is yung motivation. So this motivation they have explained to you this morning introduces the topic content briefly. So alam niyo na yung motivation, hindi ko na mabuti dyan. Tapos yung first activity or engage and see. So it's up to you if you are going to use the 4 A's or 5 E's or the judge C, no? But you just choose one, or if you want to retain those 3 there, okay lang. And also, I wouldn't prevent you from using your own templates in your school that you are using now, especially for the purpose of the online or the synchronous and the asynchronous materials that you can use during this pandemic. Kasi magtatagal pa daw itong pandemic na to. So wala pang face-to-face na nakikita. Okay, so activity, engage, or see. This is the structured activity. Yun ang stimulus, first stimulus, where the learner is supposed to where this structured activity is supposed to elicit from the learner yung experience niya at ano ba ito? Yung experience niya at yung current knowledge niya about the subject, no? Tapos may questions syempre doon sa structure, may instructions at saka may question. And sometimes if you have the moral doctrine, yung moral doctrine ay kukunin niyo din dito sa column na ito. So na-identify na dito yung doctrine, moral, worship, no? So you don't have to look for one because they have been identified, they have been validated. But as I have said again this morning, if you think that there's something wrong and there is something that is closer to use for the content standards and performance standards written here, then you are free to use them, no? Okay, so activity, engage, and see. So you have to put the morals there. Just a reminder for the teacher that she will incorporate the morals and doctrine, that is if it is properly placed. Depende if it's needed here in this part of your lesson, depende on the structured activity that you have prepared. Okay, the next one is analysis, explore, or judge. Again, these are questions and processing questions and activities also that will will allow the students or the learners to share their own knowledge and experiences about further analysis closing into the formulation of the essential understandings, no? So nag-UBD kayo sa high school, meron tayo ng UBD. The essential understanding is down here at the bottom of analysis, explore, and judge. So all these activities and questions under the analysis, explore, judge, plus the doctrine that is related, will all lead towards the deepening of the students' learning by way of some new things and new concepts and new experiences, no? And then that will be the basis for the abstraction. So ano ngayon ang what has your learner achieved in the first two activities, the activity and the analysis? What can he or she infer about his answers or the accomplished tasks that was given in the first two phases. So this is the phase now of abstraction, explain, and judge. And this is where you put something more on what is, meaning and importance of, kung common good ang inyong topic, what meaning and importance of, or kung forgiveness ang inyong topic, meaning and importance of forgiveness, ways and steps in asking forgiveness or giving forgiveness to someone who wronged you, mga ganon. And the morals, of course, that is attached to this topic or this lesson. And then the last part, which is the fourth phase, is the application. This could be a big activity where they apply or transfer their learning. It could be something that they do in the school with their classmates, or in the community, or in the church, or in the. So ang daming mga strategies na binigay ko kanina. So if I were you, look at them again, and you will get an idea as to what activities you will be using for each of these four phases. Then the morals and worship is very important here, that you should connect. And then the assessment and evaluation, you could have for the grade school, you can have a 5-item, 10-item, a 10-item multiple choice or true false. But you should also use authentic learning assessment. Yung authentic learning assessment ay parang mga self-assessment, o kaya writing what they have learned, the essential understandings that they have learned, and so on and so forth. Si Miss Camille Ann, anong ginagawa niyo dito sa aking vision? Nagbubura-bura. Ano ba ito? Am I the one or someone else? I saw the name of Okay, so ito yung gagawin nyo, and I will pass this on to the chat box, so that all you will have to do is to put in your elements or the development of the lesson here. Okay, so any questions? Raise your questions now. Ano ito nakalagay na ito? Any question po? So you are expected individually to make your own output. Although if you want to work with a teacher, co-teacher, it's possible for you to do it. Kasi nag-online po tayo, okay din naman. Para isang output lang kayo. Kung pareho kayo nagtuturo sa grade 1, grade 4, pwede kayong gumawa ng isa. Or if you like to be independent, you can independently do. 1 hour siguro matapos nyo na ito. Ng 1 hour. The 3 o'clock, then present at 3 o'clock. Volunteers to present at 3 o'clock. Okay, so you are now on your own. If you don't have any more questions, I will put this in the chat box. And I hope that you will start doing.
Doktora, excuse po. Hello po. Good afternoon po. Hello po.
Yes.
Ask ko lang po, are we not going back to the breakout rooms na po? Hindi na po?
Hindi na, kasi ito rin ang gagawin ninyo doon. At hindi nyo
Okay.
walang instruction ito, kaya binigay ko po yung instruction.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Dito na rin tayo mag-present ng samples mamaya. Kung sino mag-voluntaryo, bibigyan natin ng medalya. Meron pa pong tanong. Sana po magawa ninyo kahit maraming kulang-kulang para lang parang makuha nyo yung process, and then you can complete it at home or later on, and because you are at home anyway, you can complete it some other time, and you can share this with your co-teacher if you have completed it. And if you want to volunteer for critiquing, edi may improve pa yan for critiquing. So we hope that there will be about 3 or hanggang 5 na mag-present mamaya. If you do it on your own also, you will have some questions. You will encounter some questions that you may raise and that could be addressed. So added learning pa rin po yun. No? So I encourage everybody to make one.
Ito po yung bago naming logo sa ngayon, okay? Because we are celebrating 50th foundation in Manresa School. I am the current teacher in Manresa School, teaching grade 8 CLE. But this time CLE GMRC VE na. So first term namin, Module 1. My lesson for the first term, Module 1, will be Jesus in the Synoptic Gospels. So this is my my name, at the same time the name of my partner in teaching CLE 8. So a little bit different from what we have dun sa existing na binigay niyong sample, ito yung sa amin. Oo. Pero nandito pa rin yung content standard, medyo iba lang yung template. Pero nandito pa rin performance standard, theme, because we have a theme for term, and then we have the values, the duration, ayan. And then here, medyo marami lang ng konti yung sa amin. We include here the unit, the content, which is the lesson proper, the topic, common activities and strategies, competencies, yung DMW ay nandito na, and then assessments na gagawin namin, and then the hours allotted for this lesson. So nag-allot ako ng 7 hours for this lesson only, Jesus in the Synoptic Gospels. Ayan. So kung makikita natin dito sa lesson kong ito, na-combine ko na dito, sorry, hindi ko na highlight lang, na-combine ko na dito yung sa CLE namin at saka yung anong meron tayo sa ASP. Like itong um, value of obedience, honesty, and integrity ay nasa ASP yan. And then sa CLE, itong characteristics na Synoptic Gospels. And then, who is Jesus in each Synoptic Gospels. Ayan. And then, ito yung learning objectives ko. So, at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to understand the history and nature of the Gospels as the revelation of God through Jesus Christ, identify the identity of Jesus and his salvific mission presented in the Synoptic Gospels, manage to appreciate the value of obedience, honesty, integrity with Jesus, reflect and pray as a gospel story that speaks of Jesus revealing himself to the people of Israel. And then ito yung resources namin. Sa Manresa School, wala kaming sinusunod na book. Oo. Gumagawa kami ng module, which is itong nasa baba. Gumagawa kami ng module sa Manresa School kasi hindi kami makahanap ng book na included lahat yung mga topics namin. And then we use the Bible, some presentations, and then the Google Classroom as our way of online teaching. Ayan. So, meron kaming sariling template pagdating sa handouts namin. Pero kung titingnan mo, medyo magkapareho lang. Iba lang yung pangalan doon sa binigay sa atin ni ni Doc Vale. So, my story. So, human experience siya. At the same time, ito na din yung motivation ko. Then, I put here, Nolimitang Hire. Okay. Ayan. So, pictures of Nolimitang Hire. And then, ito na yung stepping ground ko na din dito para makapasok ako sa lesson ko proper about the gospel. So, I put here some reflection questions like, what do you know about Nolimitang Hire? What is the main message of that novel? What do you think is the purpose of writing the novel, then the Nolimitang Hire? What is the relevance of the literary work for us at the present time? Ayan. So, I explain a little bit about Nolimitang Hire and how is it connected to my lesson about the gospel. So our lesson for today is also a great literary work like the Nolimitang Hire, the Gospels. However, they are not just any ordinary literary work, but first of all, it is written under the divine inspiration, which means the gospel are both product of human authors and the divine authors. Thus, the gospel have religious significance, especially for us Christians. The gospel tell us the story of Jesus and the good news of salvation offered by him. And then I include Bible story or Bible passages. So our title for that is God's story. Ayan, so the word became flesh. And then Peter's confession, Jesus as Christ. Ayan. And then we believe this is the teachings of the church already. Ayan. So first, I define give the etymology of the word gospel. Ayan. So yung mga connected na mga words about it, and then the literary form of the gospel. Ayan, how to understand the gospel. Then the stages in the development of the gospel. So may mga source dyan sa CFC. So iba-iba yung mga books na ginagamit namin para gumawa ng aming module. Ayan. Then the Synoptic Gospels proper. So a little explanation about the Synoptic Gospels. Bakit siya tinatawag na Synoptic Gospels? And then the relationship between the three Synoptic Gospels. Then some examples I put also here. And then the comparative table of the three Synoptic Gospels. So its uniqueness. So nakalagay na din dito. At the same time, yung mga source nila. Ayan. Okay. So second to the last. Ito yung kanina about evaluate. Ang title namin is We Live. So, sorry, hindi masyadong maayos yung paggawa. Pero this is an activity. Okay? So, the Bible leads to Jesus Christ, the force and power in the Word of God. It is great that it stands as support and energy of the church, the strengthened of faith and her sons, the food of the soul, the pure and everlasting source of spiritual life. So, the question here, who is Jesus in my life? So, ang mga bata ay describe lang po nila kung ano yung experience nila based dun sa lesson namin. And then, I end with a prayer. So, our title for the worship, okay, part, we celebrate. So, ayan. Prayers of the faithful yung ginawa ko. And then that's it. Hindi ko pa nilagay yung references po. So, ayun lang po. Thank you po.
Wow, palakpakan natin ang pangalan mo?
Archie po.
Si Archie. Palakpakan natin si Archie. In so short a time, he was able to compose this material, which is almost, very good, perfect, almost excellent. But of course, as we have said, when we critique, our job is to look for points that should be improved, right? That's our job now, to look at points that should be improved based on what we have discussed since this morning as to how we should properly use the guide and integrate the two courses, which is values education and CLE. This is in grade 8? Grade 8, right? Can we start from the beginning and look at this again? Your content standard is understands the actions and words of Jesus written in the gospel and the letters of one spacious divine entity himself. Yung content standard is not, sasabihin ko, na-praise ko na-praise ko lahat, maganda as it is a very good, it's an excellent lesson for CLE. I must say it's an excellent lesson for CLE, but not quite for integrated CLE and ESP. It's because right at the start, content standard, wala akong nakikitang ESP diyan na content. Wala akong nakikitang grade 8 na LC diyan na na-integrate. Performance standard, the student demonstrates understanding about Jesus' divinity, mission for her salvation, so that in the long run, she becomes a living witness. Wala rin po akong nakikitang lesson or LC ng ESP. Po. Ang tema, we discover Jesus fulfilled. Kaya, ang aking major critic lang dito, Archie, on top of the excellent job you have done, ay parang walang na-integrate na ESP standards. And that is why I would like everybody to recall again our advice since this morning that we use the guide. Kaya nandyan yung guide, and doon na pati yung content standard na naka-integrate na ang both ESP and CLE. Ang performance standard naka-integrate na po. Yung tema, ewan ko yung anong tema, siguro yan ay yung theme or yung topic. Yung values, baka yung values na gusto mong i-integrate dito na galing sa column ng values ay hindi ko rin nakita na na-integrate. Parang nawala itong values na ito. But this is not, or these are not the values, yung mga values, listing of values lang po yan. Ang i-integrate po natin ay yung learning competencies. So, maganda ito na leksyon natin ulit. Kaya ng sabi ko, magkikritik, talagang hahanap tayo ng ikikritik para matuto tayo ng ng tama, no? Ang gagawin diyan ay gamitin yung gamitin yung ano ba to, yung guide as they are sequenced and as they are included per quarter. Kaya ang una kong sinasabi, pati doon sa writers noon, ay iwanan nyo muna, drop everything with your CLE. You have to be open. You have to be open here for the integration na naiiba na yung maybe yung content, naiiba na po siguro yung sequencing of your mga dating ginagawa sa CLE. So that's the first thing that we should do. Parang ano bang tawag ni Sister Eileen doon tsaka si Hansel, sabi nila ay maging start from square one. Parang alisin muna natin yung because we have already organized, we have looked at existing content of CLEs, and we have looked at models of curriculum before as a basis for the sequencing and as the basis of integration. And the major point here is that we use the ESP competencies from grade 1 to grade 10 as the anchor, yung basis for integration. So, kung ano yung nakalagay sa, let's say, first term ito First term is first quarter and second quarter, no? First quarter, kung ano yung content doon, yung content na yun ay yung take up natin. Yung quarter 2, yun ang take up natin. So, yung inyong pag-uusap sa school committee ninyo ng CLE, yung implementation of this program, ay maliwanag dapat yun na baka mabago yung inyong sequencing, mabago yung content, at eto lang yung, hindi lang naman, eto na yung content ng CLE at values education na i-implement natin. So I hope na ito ay nandoon pa rin, makikita mo pa rin doon sa guide. Yung guide na yan, yung content standard, ay hindi ko makikita yan sa
Okay.
Jesus written the Gospels, letters, divine identity, salvific mission, doon sa salvation history ito. Diba? Merong mga LCs doon, but it is not written this way. So, kapag ready tayong implement, ay ready tayong mag-try na pick upin o gamitin yung mga LCs na nandoon sa curriculum guide. So kayo, nabigyan na ng link para sa curriculum guide, ay i-download nyo na for your own copies at doon nyo kukunin kung ano yung mga ilalagay nyo dito. Okay yung format nyo, very good yung format nyo, okay pa rin yan. Pero yung theme o kaya slash topic siguro yun, kasi topic ang ginamit namin doon sa guide. Ngayon dito sa baba, ano mo nga, i-roll mo sa baba. Archie.
Wait lang daw.
Okay. Okay din sa akin, yung format ninyo, hindi naman kailangan gamitin yung lahat-lahat doon. Kasi dito lang sa matrix, doon sa taas. Itong matrix mo dito. Ayan, ito. So you have there the unit, the content, subject area, competencies. Yung sana kung ano yung competencies na nandoon sa guide, ayun na yung ilalagay mo sa competencies para sa ganun. Maghanap ka doon ng kaugnay nitong salvific mission. Meron yan, alam ko, si Sister Eileen ang gumawa ng grade 8 eh. So salvation history, yung buong grade 8 na ginawa niya. No? So meron at meron yan. At pwede mo nang kunin verbatim. Kaya nga ibinibigay namin sa inyo yung kopya para yun na yung gamitin ninyo para diyan sa competencies. Yung common activities ay wala doon. Nasa teacher doon na magtrabaho noon. At dito siguro nga dapat ilagay. Subject area objectives. Dito objectives, mauuna yung competencies siguro. Kasi yung competencies ay karugtong ng ma-unpack pa yan into objectives. I don't know kung yung subject area objectives na sinabi dito ay lesson objectives. No? So, ganun yun. So, pag-aralan mo mabuti, Archie, yung matrix ng grade 8 doon sa guide at tignan kung baka mas mabuti na yun yung i-cut and ano mo yan, i-adapt. Because that is, we are promoting its adoption. It's adoption and toto kung hindi man almost kung ano kasi gradual din naman, di naman kayo dapat biglain, ano? Gradual and implementation of its fullness, no? In its fullness, completeness. Okay. So yung content, tingnan natin yung content, Archie. Wait. Doon pa rin. Nandun pa rin tayo. Kasi mahalaga itong gagawin natin ng tama. Kasi ito yung batayan ng lahat ng gagawin nyo pagkatapos nito doon sa lesson proper. Kailangan maareglo ng mabuti ito. So yung unit title, pagkukunan ng ano, okay lang yon. Pero may topic dapat. Or yun yung topic. Or content. Content na siguro yon. Pero merong content standard. Ang content standard na ginawa doon sa matrix ay kung ano yung essential understanding. Kung nag-UBD kayo, I'm very sure that you had the UBD before because it was so parang trending noon ang UBD at halos buong Pilipinas ay na-UBDize. Alam niyo yung it's the essential understanding. That column for content standard is the essential understanding which is already an integration of the doctrine and the content from the LC of DepEd. Pinagsama na namin doon. Okay? Kapag halos pareho sila, namili kami, pinili namin yung CLE or yung ESP. O kaya pinagtagpi namin, inayos na, inintegrate. Ganun yun. So, siguro, kailangan pag-aralan nyo lang muna yung nandun sa guide para you will be convinced that they are all pertinent to what you need for the development of this kind of material. Now, let's look at the next part. Yung next part, learning objectives. Kinuha mo lang doon sa learning objectives sa taas to, no? Kung titignan natin, isa lamang ang nakalagay dito na manage to appreciate the value of obedience, honesty, and integrity with Jesus. Pero hindi po ganyan sa grade 8 nag-i-integrate ng values learning competencies. Ang learning competencies kung maaring kung maalala ko, kung meron ako maalala tungkol doon sa values integration ng salvific mission na ito. Yung pagpapasya at pagkilos ayon sa moral na prinsipyo, moral law, ayon sa moral law. Parang yung ipinakita ko kaninang umaga. Based on the moral law and moral principles based on the Gospels. Ganon siguro pag i-integrate nun. Merong, and ways, demonstrate ways of showing to live the gospel or showing the values of obedience, honesty and integrity, masyadong marami na yun. No? So, isa o dalawa lamang ay i-integrate. But it is in the form of a learning competency. Hindi lang listing of values. Kasi yung listing of values na sa hanay ng values ay guide lamang na na-cover yung mga values na yon. Pero yung LC, Learning Competencies column, is the most important that the teacher can use in the development of a lesson objective like this. And even the content standard, yung content standard, yun ang ginagawang inference, yun ang essential understanding, at importante din yung performance standard because that is the one that we will ask the learners to live out or to act out in their families and the community and in the church. Yun ang transfer of learning your performance standard. Kung mahalaga yun. So dito, wala kang performance standard, wala kang performance objective. So hindi mo gagamit yung morals. Kasi yung morals ay pag kilos na sa community o sa bahay o sa pamilya, di po ba? So yun. Kaya ang ginawa namin sa guide ay mayroong content pag-unawa sa mga konsepto ng baka yan, salvific vision. Dapat inuunawa nila yan. Understand the history and nature. Yan ay mga content lahat yan. No? Content. At mayroong performance, action-oriented learning competencies. No? So ayun, marami na tayong natutunan doon ha. Tignan niyong mabuti pa, dapat pag-inuna natin na pag-aralan ay yung kaya lang wala tayong time, kaya nag-dive tayo agad dito sa sa lesson development. Pero it was in the webinar last October and November last year that we took up in more detail these matrices and these learning standards kasi, no?
Excuse, Doc.
Yes.
Hi, Doc. Can I show you the syllabus that we have that we make after we combine the one that you have given and the one that we have in the school? Kasi gusto kong makita ninyo kung tama ba yung ginawa namin.
Na i-combine ninyo? Ba't i-combine nyo pa? Meron na nga nagawa. That's what I was trying to point out. Ba't i-combine nyo pa? Na-combine na namin. Na-combine na ng guide na yun. Ngayon, kung gusto ninyong enrichment yun. Hindi yung i-combine.
Okay.
Kasi nandun na yun. Mga lahat ng requirements nandun na eh. Approve na yun ng DepEd.
Gusto kong pwede yung bang tingnan siya? Kung sige.
Okay, but let me finish this first para kung alisin natin ito, okay na to, no? Can you postpone that, can defer that a little bit para matapos muna natin. Okay, dito sa lesson proper, lesson proper, maganda itong storya na ginawa, no? Itong story can be, kasi ito yung, bakit no limit ang here ang inyong ginamit dito?
Kasi Doc, magsisimula ako dun sa Gospels proper. Kasi ito yung first lesson ko na ibibigay sa mga bata.
Oo nga, pero bakit no limit ang here? Anong kinalaman? Ang tatanungin ko, part by part is, anong kinalaman tong ginamit mong material na ito, gaya nitong no limit ang here, doon sa objectives mo, doon sa 4 na objectives mong doon, ano yung ina-address doon? Lagi niyong tatandaan yun, this is for everybody. Pag gumagamit, pati pag nagtuturo kayo, kung lahat ng inyong gagawin, ano yung, para saan ito? Anong objective ang aking tinutumbok dito pagka ginawa ko itong activity na ito, kung ipinagawa ko sa mga estudyante ito, o kung tinanong ko itong mga questions na ito. Alin dito sa learning objectives ang tinutumbok ninyo. So itong activity ninyo sa No Limit ang Here, alin dito yung tinutumbok niya?
The first one, Doc. To
Understand
understand
the history of
the
gospel
history and
at
nature.
the revelation of God through Jesus Christ. Pero ang ginamit mong stimulus ay yung no limit tangere.
Yes
Kasi
po.
sinasabi mo doon na yung no limit tangere ay sinulat ng pantas at yung mga with divine intervention at saka pati din yung gospel. Totoo ba na with divine intervention yung no limit tangere?
Ay, hindi po, Doc. Ginawa ko lang stepping ground yun, Doc. Tapos, kinonect ko siya through
Okay.
this question.
Okay.
Yan o.
What do you know about no limit? What is the main message of the novel? What
Oo.
is the purpose of writing the novel? What is the relevance of the literary work? Parang i-compare mo, dapat meron ding
Ito, Doc. Ito yung parang explanation ko.
i-introduce mo. Okay, that's fine. Very good. Very good. Kaya lang, ulit, puro CL yan. Wala pang integration ng ano. So every step of the way, activity pa lang, nag-i-integrate na kayo ng CLE. Makikita na doon yung CLE at ESP. Yan ang tandaan ninyo. Hindi lang basta, ito parte na to, ESP, ito, i-add ko na lang itong values na to. Hindi po pwedeng ganon. It has to be purposively and systematically embedded or integrated in the development of the lesson from top to bottom. Kasi nga, yun ang objectives mo. Kung ginawa mong integrated yung objectives mo. Okay? So, dito, okay yun. Maganda itong ginawa mo. That's the correct development of an activity. It's a structured material with stimulus like no limit tangere and with questions, corresponding questions that will link to the new lesson. Okay. Let's see the God story. Ano naman itong God story? It's still a part of the activity.
Yes, Doc. Oo.
It's part of the activity kasi inaano mo na yung nag-a-unlock ka na o nagbibigay ka ng context, no, ng gospel writing.
Yes, Doc.
How this is kaya lang ang sinasabi ko ulit, nasaan naman yung ESP? Okay, next. Peter, yung we believe ay ano na to?
Teachings po.
Ha?
Church teachings.
Yun na yung morals. Yung morals, no? Teachings o morals. O kaya doctrine.
Doctrine po. Doctrine, actually.
Doctrine. Okay, so that's good that it is there. At yung gospel, pati gospel. Ito na yung yung pati yung theological reflection ng si judge, yung judge, nag-reflect na sila. No? Okay. Or exploration ng or explanation lahat yan.
Yes po.
Explanation ng 5 E's. Basta ilagay mo lang yung titles na kung saan dapat. We live is act out. Yung act na ng si Judge Act. We live, living out ito applying, transfer of learning. Yun na yung application at saka yun yung exploration kasi reinforcement ito. Exploration. Reinforcement in actual life. Okay? At saka we celebrate as worship, that's closing.
Worship.
Usually, ang worship part is at the end. At the end of the lesson, it as a closing a closing activity in terms of prayer or song or this one. This like ano ba ito?
Prayers to the faithful.
Prayer. O kaya pwede rin sa umpisa doon sa motivation, pwede rin worship doon. Okay? So, yun. Okay, it's good. The arrangement, the organization is good except for the missing integration. Hindi ka pa nag-integrate, Archie.
Yes po.
Integration dito.
Doc, let me show you the syllabus kasi gusto kong makita ninyo kung tama ba yung ginawa namin.
I hope to see this in a corrected version. I mean corrected in an improved version with the integration of values. So you look for the appropriate LCs in the guide, integrated guide, and integrate the required ESP here. And then you may want to resubmit that to the management, and we'll see how well you have improved this according to the requirements of integration. Okay? Very good. So clap natin si Archie. Tignan natin yung sinasabi mo, Archie, na
Let me
ano.
show you the syllabus po. Kasi
Yes.
iniisip namin na ito yung gamitin namin. Baka kasi, can you see it na, Doc?
Oo.
So, ito yung namin, parang curriculum namin proper, yung syllabus namin. So, yung binigay ko pa sa inyo, yung first lesson pa lang yun namin, yung Jesus in the Synoptic Gospels. Oo. Tapos yung second lesson namin yan ay yung Jesus in the Johannine literature. Then Jesus is alive through the letters of Paul. And then sa totoo yung sinabi niyo, Doc, na medyo konti pa.
Pag akong taga-DepEd na pupunta sa inyo, hindi papasa ito. Bakit? Lahat ay Christian leading ang nakikita ko. Ang values education ninyo. Wala akong makita.
So, let me show you the second term, Doc. Okay.
Sige.
Ito yung second term namin, Doc.
Okay, sige.
Ayan. So, dito na kami papasok sa family mismo, which is yung nandun sa ESP natin. Like church teachings on the family, the Holy Family model and guide of the Christian family. Ayan.
Etong nakikita ko, number 5. That's ESP, Mission of the Family in Education, Guidance, and Faith Formation. Okay. Check yan. Tapos yung Mystery of Incarnation, Assumption, Holy Family Model of God, Christian Father, Church, Teaching in the Family, lahat na yan ay ASP. I should say ACL. Pero alam mo, kapag tinignan mo yung matrix, andun lahat ito with appropriate indices. Malalagyan mo pa ng codes yan according to the guide na nandun lahat yung guide. Kasi kung pupunta ang DepEd, mag-check sa inyo, asan na yung pag-implement nyo ng integration. Makikita nila kaagad yung mga chinek. Alam nyo ang DepEd, iniisa-isa nila yung how many, siguro hundreds of LCs na inisa-isain nila at inanap yung kanilang learning competencies. At nakapasa yung atin except for missing 7 missing and 3 missing in 2 levels na ginawa namin ni Habol, sinabmit ulit at in-approve ang buo. Pero nagpapakita niyan na sincere o determinado ang DepEd na magpa-implement ng mga LCs na negotiable yung mga LCs nila. Lalo na dito sa magiging bagong curriculum, lalo na yun dahil may batas na. So mag-ingat tayo na kailangan balansehin. Kung gusto nyo balansehin, balanse na yung ginawa doon sa grid. Tingnan nyo na lang kung alin doon ang maipapasok nyo dyan. At kung hindi man lahat ay ito-throw away nyo yung mga nandyan na nakalagay, malagyan man ng mga LCs na nagawa sa integrated curriculum itong ginawa yung syllabus. No?
Yes, Doc.
Okay? So, titignan nyo rin kung pwede nyong magamit as is kasi all you will have to do is to look for your materials at i-connect nyo lang. I-align nyo lang yung mga materials ninyo, yung mga syllabus ninyo, i-rearrange lang. Yung mga ganun ba? Pero nandun din lahat yung guide na yun. Kung ako nga sa inyo, at hindi na lang yung guide na lang yun ang gagawin. Kasi quarterly na po yun nakalagay. Quarterly. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3 per quarter from kinder up to grade 12. Saan kayo, ano pang hahanapin nyo? Nandoon na yung gagawin yung lesson.
Okay. Sige po.
Okay. Aristotle's 3 types of friendship. Nakikita ko yan. Management of emotions, nandoon yan. But may not be in the same alignment or maybe not be in the same quarter. O yan. So, bakit hindi na lang natin gamitin yun ang aking sinasabi lagi. No? I'm not imposing but I am advising kasi we know what we went through in the development of those LCs na Ito, hindi naman lang namin basta nilalagay-lagay doon, ano, Joyce, tinignan namin lahat yung mga makikita namin mga dokumentos ninyo at yun ang ilinagay namin doon. Kaya nandyan din lahat yan eh. Yung responsible leadership and discipleship nandun. So parang yung naka-italics dito ay yun yung kinuha nyo sa DepEd. Ang aking advice din ay lagyan nyo ng index, yung code number niya. Yung code number niya, yung sinasabi ko kanina na grade 8, quarter 1, topic 3, LC4, mga ganyan. Lalagay nyo din yan kasi parang standard. Kaya nga, ni-standardize natin from Hulo to Apari kung pwede, mga Catholic schools. Kasi kapag sinabi natin, responsible leadership and disciples, nando sa ano yan, ang code niya ay ganito. Di lahat ng eskwelahan nagkakaintindihan.
Thank you,
Okay,
Doc.
so,
Yes
so
po.
pwede nyo ma-improve pa dito to put in more of the put in more of the things that are there in the guide, no? Okay, so you can do it. You may not totally use the guide, but sana most of it can be used. No? Kasi parang practice yun na rin. Kasi kapag dating ng revision yan, alam nyo na kung ano ang gagamitin.
Okay.
Dr. Twyla?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially, there we have here a chat from Ann Carmela Salvador. So essentially, whatever documents you have, the school have now, you can make use of that as part of the enrichment. But you have to make use this curriculum that we have made. Tama, Doktora?
Opo, dapat po,
Okay.
kung i-implement po nila yon, first option is to implement en toto. Kasi
Yeah,
na-arrange na po yon, lahat ng LCs na rin-require ng DepEd at rin-require ng CLE, nandun naman po kayo, mga CLE coordinators po yung mga nandun at mga pare at madre ng mga ETSE at nandun na nag-validate kung ano po yung content ng CLE na dapat ipasok sa kinder up grade 2, grade 3 hanggang grade 12, nandoon naman po sila, inayos lahat. Kaya nga ang sinasabi lagi ni Joyce noon pwede ba i-drop na natin lahat ng ating dating nakaraang ito na nga yung hinahanap natin na lagi na Joyce, di ba yun ang prayer mo lagi sa sa ating grupo? So ito na-arrange na. So yan ang option 1 and toto. No? Option 2, dahil nga po sa hinay-hinay lang naman tayo mag-implement, kung medyo hindi po kayo confident na ready na kayo mag-implement ng lahat nun, at yung materials nyo, ito lang naman ang materials nyo na pwede nyo magamit, wala pa yung mga materials na para doon sa full implementation, no? Pwede nyo i-enrich nito. I-enrich nyo, pero dapat palitawin ninyo ang balancing pag-i-enrich na hindi ganito na parang paisa-isa lang. Parang pinilit lang kayo na mag-integrate. At saka doon sa mga yun, gaya na ipinakita ko sa lesson plan kanina, wala tayong nakikitang integration. Ang integration, naka-integrate po kami ng values. Andyan po yung loyalty, obedience at pero hindi po tamang pag-i-integrate po yun. Dahil ang tamang pag-i-integrate, gamitin yung LCs na na-integrate na. Hindi ho biro yung pag-i-integrate. Ang hirap po mag-integrate pag sabayin mo, i-mesh mo yung ESP at saka yung CLCs. Pakahirap ng ginawa nila. Ang hirap. At saka ang daming versions namin ginawa. Nakasampo o more than 10 version ang ginawa because talagang pinag-igihan nilang ginawa yun. Mga yun. So, tignan natin. Give it a chance. Eka nga. So, kung yung option 2 ang gagawin niyo na pang I advise you to make visible the integration. Kasi hiwa-hiwalay po. Yun, yung tatlong objectives, puro CLE, totally CLE, tapos isa lang na list of values doon. Hindi yun ang integration. Kung makikita nyo, pag-aralan nyo po yung integration ng LCs, Learning Standards, Learning Competencies pala. Learning Competencies. Pag-aralan nyo po yun at makikita ninyo na, ito pala ito na nga pala ito, pati ito. Ganun po, mag-eureka kayo roon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Ganun po. Oh, so parang wala na tayong time for another volunteer. Meron pa bang mag-volunteer? Pero time na to call all the to shut down all the breakout
group.
and call them all to the plenary. Joyce? Pwede
Yes,
ba?
Doktora.
We are here na po, 7 and 8.
Okay.
Dito na sila.
Yeah. They're all coming naman, Doktora. One by
But I
one.
think meron pang nasa breakout room.
Yes po.
Thank you very much, Archie, from Manresa. Manresa, Quezon City.
Hindi po. Manresa School from BF Paranaque po.
Paranaque.
Sa BF, talaga Paranaque po ako. Nandito po ako ngayon sa Paranaque.
Magkapitbahay kayo, Doktora. Thank you so much, Sir Archie, for that presentation. So parang habang naghihintay tayo doon sa ibang breakout rooms na bumalik sa ating I just want to share something of the process that we've undergone before we come up and we come up with this integrated curriculum. This has been our dream actually. Lahat ng mga religion teachers nandito, alam ko ito yung pangarap natin. Dahil sa lahat ng mga subject areas, tayo lang yung palaging napang-iwanan na lahat ng mga subjects meron silang given agad na mga learning competencies, curriculum na materials na DepEd, tayo ay wala. So dahil nga sa pagsusumikap natin na makabuo tayo at magkaroon tayo ng clear standard that everyone can follow, kaya po nag-initiate ang CEAP and CR na pinangungunahan ni Father Nolan. At mahabang proseso tulad ng sinabi ni Dr. Twyla na nagawa ito. At lahat ng documents na kailangan nating i-consider, even using the very basic materials that we need to really consider, the ECHE, the CBCP, the documents of the church, and basically the Bible, and of course the values education guidelines and curriculum from DepEd, kasi that was very important. And then later on, before we come up with the final result, lumabas yung kailangan na babalik tayo doon sa GMRC at nahabol natin yon. Kaya after na i-present ito sa DepEd at na-scrutinize ng DepEd at binalik ulit sa grupo na nagsulat ng integrated curriculum at inayos ito ulit at binalik ulit sa DepEd, kaya tayo nabigyan ng approval. So I know that there will be some transitions at saka mga experiences na medyo mahirapan tayo ulit kasi nasanayan natin. Yung iba may sarili silang paraan ng paggawa nila ng curriculum, each school or each universities. Yung iba naman ay meron silang libro na ginagamit at doon lang nakatutok sa libro. Yung iba ay lalo na itong pandemic, meron na silang module na na-develop. Pero katulad ng sinasabi ni Dr. Twyla kanina, mas mapadali sa atin kung mag-realign tayo doon sa ating pagsunod sa integrated curriculum kasi meron na tayong material. At ang importante lang, matuhog natin kung ano yung meron na tayo doon sa ano yung kailangan nating sundin. Kasi katulad din ng sinabi ni Father Nolan kaninang umaga, whether you will like it or not, we are still, under DepEd. Sisilipin din nila yung ating curriculums, especially this time na pinayagan tayong gamitin ito vis-a-vis na magiging isa na lang ang values education at saka CLE. So hindi na tayo mahirapan na maghanap pa ng teacher or magbigay pa ng double tasks doon sa ating mga religion teachers na magtuturo pa ng values education, magtuturo pa ng Christian living education dahil iisa na lang at kumpleto. Tama yon kanina, pag isa-isahin nating silipin talaga yung ating curriculum guide, kompletong-kompleto yung nandoon. Hindi na tayo mag-iisip kung paano tayo mag-formulate ng ating mga learning competencies, which is the very important one in making us our lesson plans. Okay, so I don't know if is everybody here already. Meron pa ba, Sir Martin, na hindi nakabalik sa ating plenary?
Yes, ma'am. Meron pa po.
Meron pa.
Nagbabalik na po sila.
Okay, sige. So we'll just wait for them so that we can move on to the next part, which is the extensions of discussions of some concerns that we have that will be raised from other groups also that's already here. Thank you once again, Sir Archie, for that presentation also. Father Nolan, you want to say something while we're waiting for the rest to come in?
Marte, shut off mo na yung breakout room yun.
Nakamute ka, sir.
Pupunta sila rito. Ganun naman
Yes.
talaga, last 10 seconds, ilagay mo, last 10 seconds. This will be shut off.
At least finally, one great blessing we have finally, from the point of view of CAP schools, we have now a main document we call our curriculum. So this is with the permission coming from Eche. Second, we have second blessing is this curriculum has been integrated with ESP or the GMRC now. So recognized by DepEd. So that's another blessing. I suppose this is the first ever document approved by DepEd coming from CAP schools. So this is indeed a landmark and a very important gift that we can give to our schools. And it came at the right time, the Kairos time, that we are celebrating the 500 years of Christianity in our country. It was indeed a grace. I told you, I think I forgot to mention, it was already something I really liked to do years back, 15 years ago. That was even the purpose why I started enrolling at De La Salle for Rel Ed. No? So, but I always believe that things happen for a purpose and always in God's time. We just have to be patient. And that's what I learned in my life as a priest. Be patient. Good things happen not because you do it, we do it, but good things happen because God allows it. And I suppose with all the signals that we have, God is allowing this to take place for all of us. Actually, this curriculum is a save, in a way, save us, because definitely GMRC will be implemented. It's a law. Then if we did not have like this integrated curriculum, then we will be forced to have two learning areas. And that adds more to the problem of teachers, the problem of finances, the problem of extra hours, and many others. So we thank the Lord for his goodness to all our Catholic schools, not only in CAP NCR, but it's the Catholic schools around the country. The purpose I made this is not for the big schools really, but for the small schools. That was my intention when I took up this project. So, but now it is benefiting all of us, and we thank the Lord for that. We thank the Lord for that.
Thank you so much, Father Nolan. And I think everybody is already here in the plenary. So we can move on to the next part of our program before we end the session today. We are now going to do some discussions and presentations for those who have some concerns in our results, concerns and issues in the discussions that in the results of implementations and lesson development. Together with us is our panels, Father Nolan, Dr. Twyla, and the rest of the facilitators in our group out sessions. Okay. Dr. Twyla, how are we going to go through with this part? You are muted, Doktora. Naka-mute kayo, Doktora. Doktora Twy, naka-mute po kayo.
You please call on each of the breakout rooms. There are 5 breakout rooms.
Yes.
I suppose they have assigned someone to represent them.
So may I now call on the group of who wants to start? Okay, so who wants to start to share from the group out sessions that we have. Anybody is ready? The one who is assigned from the room, or may I call on the room A, kinder, from the group of kinder to grade 3, to present any concerns and issues that come out during your discussions and presentations.
Yes, Miss Joy. Sorry to tell, pero
Thank you, Miss
hindi
Michelle.
ako makapasok po kanina. It just so happened that for the grade 3 room po, si Sir Joey nandito po sa office, magkasama kami. And then for grade 2 po, nandun po yung isang teacher, si Miss Janellen. And I think po si Sir Jade, umikot po siya kanina.
Yeah.
Pero in general po, Miss Joyce, ang aming issues and concerns po, major po siguro, yung some of the teachers are not teaching CL. So dun pa lang po parang malaking trabaho na po ang kailangan kasi hindi po sila makarelate sa DMW. So doctrine per se, hindi nila alam kung parang ganun, sir. Ay, Miss Joyce.
So they are not religion teachers, but they are
Opo.
teaching CLE. Okay.
Opo.
Okay. Meron pa po ba, Ma'am Michelle?
Laking problema yun.
Malaki nga
Parang
po.
dun pa lang po kami, doktora, wala na parang hindi ko na po alam kung paano. Dapat po siguro
ano yan?
trainings din po sa
Special
kanila.
training sila.
Opo.
Yes.
Yun ang inyong i-inset sa kanila ngayon.
Yeah. Maybe one of the preparations for those schools who have that kind of situations. Mamaya titignan natin yung mga suggestions ng ating mga panels and ating mga facilitators. Miss Michelle, wala na po ba from the group room
Ano lang
A?
po siguro, Miss Joyce, Dr. Ayla, Father Nolan, all of them naman po willing mag-try. Pero siguro, sabi nga natin, dahil bago sa kanila, lahat naman po ng bago ay mahirap po sa umpisa. But they are willing to learn. Then nag-try po silang bumuo and then giving suggestions po. Lahat po nag-i-input naman. Kaso siguro bago nga po yung material sa kanila. Then dagdag pa po yung problem po na hindi po sila CI teachers. That's why po. Thank you po.
Thank you so much. We'll take note of that, and then later maybe the panel will try to respond on those issues and concerns that is being raised. So we'll call on the room B, from room B, grade 4 to grade 6, who will present some concerns and issues that come out during the discussions.
Thank you so much po, Ma'am Joyce. So first
Thank you,
and foremost, no, good afternoon to everyone, Father Nolan, and the rest po, no. Sa grade 4 and 6, actually, no, sabi nga ni Ma'am Michelle, everyone really tried their best also to do their part of coming up with a module. But of course, some issues arose already concerning the topics, no, which actually during my time with them, I tried also to explain how the background, how this curriculum of was integrated. So yun naman po, no. In terms of making the module, wala naman pong problema kasi dalawa lang po yan. Kasi hindi sila nagtanong, ibig sabihin nun, dalawa lang naman talaga. Nagawa na nila o hindi pa nagawa. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yun lang yung po, Father. So dahil hindi nagtanong, masaya rin naman po ako kasi hindi sila nagtanong. But at the same time po, I'm worried, no? But rest assured po naman na the teachers, when I ask them, and they can, no? They can do it. They will try their best. There's some things lang that they have to reconcile with the school, which concerns also the administrators. Kasi nga, syempre, if they're going to implement the integrated curriculum, then so ano na mangyayari doon sa iba na dalawa yung subject areas, or doon naman sa iba na they're going to integrate, so may mga consequences talaga siya in terms of on the side of the administrators. That's why my really advice then, humble advice would be dialogue with the administrator. So the teachers are willing, the teachers would try their best also to to look into the topics and study it. Kasi program din po siya, di ba, Father Nolan, from kinder. Kasi it went through the alignment also, vertical and horizontal. So yun naman ang gusto nilang makita rin, so that once they also implement the curriculum, then all the teachings also of the church, our topic, would not be also missed out, no? And we'll be able to maintain the integrity of both subjects. So meron din po, of course, na lumabas po na ang tanong ay kung mandatory, di ba? So I always go back to what Father Nolan is telling us. It's a gift, okay? It's a gift. It is a big help for all of us, big and small schools. So nasa sa atin talaga if we're going to implement it or not. But at the same time, we have to be ready since it has already yung ngipin, no, na batas na siya. So we have to be ready with that. So lang naman yun po yun. At least generally, with I should ready the PowerPoint in case po we will start tonight to make the module. Yun lang po. Kasi medyo short na rin po kasi yung time. Sabi nila August na magsisimula. So of course, kung kailangan, kaya naman ng teachers. Diba? So yun lang po siguro in general with our teachers in grade 4.
Thank you so much, Sir Jade. The panel, would you like to respond to the concern and issues that Sir Jade has raised? Father Nolan? Yes, okay. Father Nolan.
I have been reading the chat group, and then one suggestion would be if the CEAP or our group CEAP, then we can come up with an FB page wherein we can share modules. I think that can be done. That can be done. No? So I think gone are the days wherein we made modules for our own sake, but now we do it for others. So maybe the sharing of modules can be done. So there can be a page. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I will instruct Chris. Please take note of this now. Second, maybe with the concern raised by Michelle and then Jade, I think the next training will be we have to show it to them by level. No, by level. For example, if Jade is the one in charge of what level, so we just meet the teachers by level. So I'm looking forward that all the teachers, the next time you see each other, then you already have your loading and assignment for the coming school year. So it becomes targeted. So I think that's also a very good thing that can be done. No? In terms of the issue of the teachers are very much willing, but the administrators seemingly they're waiting for the go signal. Well, that's not my problem. No. That's a joke. That's a joke. No? Sabi ko nga, I always reiterate this. I'm not here to sell any product at all. I have not written a book and selling it to anybody and I get a rebate out of the sold items. No. I hope you understand that this is a gift. No, we did it for the sake of our Catholic schools. No? So I don't see any obligation on my part to really convince your administrators. No? So it becomes a choice. No? Your administrators will make a choice whether to make use of this, or maybe your administrator would like to have two learning areas. So that will be okay. That's the choice of any administration. If you want to have learning areas, and you think that's a lot better comparing to have an integrated curriculum. No? So, but I'm telling you now what is in my heart, the purpose why we made this curriculum. No? So I think that would. So the next seminar we will be having. So two things. I will ask the CEAP and CR to coordinate also, because I'm the head also of the National Christian Formation. It's either CEAP and CR office or CEAP National. But I think CEAP and National will give it to me, the CEAP and CR, so that we have people to man the page whatsoever, and all the modules maybe that you have done and you would like to share to others, then you can post it. And when you post it there, that means it can be it can be shared. No? You just simply have to recognize those the author of which when you made use of that module that is being done. Second, the next seminar that I'm planning to have will be per grade level. So lahat ng kinder teacher, ECE teacher, grade 1, magsama-sama yan, pa isa-isa per level. So that in front of the teachers per level, then you would know, maybe by then, we already have modules done, no? Because I have tasked also another group to come up with the modules, and we're almost done with the modules, no? So we are willing to share this to you for free, no? For free. I always give this instruction, no? When you feel the love of the Lord, you cannot but always wanted to give as well. We cannot equal his goodness, but we want to contribute in a way and to follow his ways. No? So I think these are two suggestions that can be done. Maybe others in the group can say something. Thank you.
Any additional from Dr. Twyla and the rest of the facilitators?
Well, I
our
can
panel?
add that in our meeting with your school heads school leaders last June 21, we suggested strongly the creation of a school committee or TWG for this values education CLE values education program, considering also that the mandate of the law is for everyone to implement this by way of school approach. No, so I suggested the creation of a school committee composed of course, the teachers, the coordinator, the school head as the overall chair, and some representations from the family and the community to act as a body to plan, to make a program plan for the whole year. If you are intending to, implementation, what will be the course of action that you will take for this month, because it's already preparation time for the first quarterly implementation of the program. So that's a quick response, but based on, I mean, if you have great collaboration of all this TWG, then I hope that you can plan things that will help the implementation of the teacher in the classroom. Like, for instance, materials development, like what Father Nolan had mentioned. You can have they gather their cluster of schools to take charge of a certain level, a certain unit, and develop modules based totally on the curriculum. And so you can do that too if you want. Gather the best writers, your best teachers to implement, to make the initial modules, which will be improved in the course of time. So don't expect a very well done module that is for approval of the publisher or for approval of DepEd at this time, no? But make one that is acceptable and workable in your classroom. So I think that's all that I can add to that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Twyla. Yes, Father Nolan, you still have more to say?
An advertisement also, no? Hello. You can
Yes, Father.
connect with me. Now, the CEAP National Christian Formation, we are opening a program at UST. No? So because it was mentioned a while ago that there are teachers who may not be really graduate of Rel Ed. No? So there's a program under UST of micro-credentialing, to which it will start this coming August. No? August. You can message me if you're interested. No? I am the first enrollee. Imagine, I told them, okay, I will be the first one to, because I was not a graduate of Rel Ed. No. My bachelor's degree is philosophy. It's classical philosophy. So, okay, let me try the rope again of doing studying Rel Ed. No? So those who would like to enroll in the same program, then you can message my FB. I have an FB. You know, you can easily locate my name, Nolan AK. No? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Father Nolan. Maybe we will listen to the group from grade 7 and 8, room C, who will give the feedbacks and some of the issues and concerns.
Okay, thank you, Joyce.
Sir Eileen, okay.
Yeah, we have a volunteer from our attendees, Sir Edwin, but I'll share our screen. Okay. Go ahead, Sir Edwin. I think you can see my screen now.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Sister volunteered me actually. Thank you. Okay. Some of the concerns and issues mentioned were already mentioned by the other groups, but I'll say them pa rin. And then the others were already addressed by Father. He gave answers already to some of the questions and concerns. First one is alignment of existing learning materials with the CLE curriculum guide through articulation. So as mentioned by Father, he will conduct articulation by grade levels. So this was addressed already. This concern was addressed already. The second is it possible to have follow-up sessions on module writing? So as mentioned by Dr. Ponsalan also, it's not easy to write such modules. So indeed, this would be very helpful if we can have follow-up sessions on this one. Then the next concern, number 3, inclusion of socio-emotional learning or SEL in the modules. The group mentioned that especially nowadays, there are a lot of concerns or issues that should be addressed, like that concerns not only the social issues but also the emotional state of the people. So inclusion of social emotional learning in the modules. Number 4, regular sharing of updates on the use of CG group chats online. This was also addressed by Father Nolan already earlier. He said that we're going to have an FB page wherein we can share or exchange our modules with each other. Thank you, Father Nolan, for that. And then we have a 5th concern. This is actually the reason why Sister asked me to volunteer. So I was the one who asked this question. Anyway, articulation on the topics referring to sacraments and other liturgical rites. Because in the curriculum, confirmation or the sacrament of confirmation, I think is in grade 5 or seen in grade 5. But most of the schools offer confirmation at when the students reach grade 7, 8, or 9. So this concern came up because of that confirmation rights. So how can we adjust the curriculum based on that, based on the confirmation rights that will be offered by the school or the church or the parish nearby? Thank you.
Yeah, I volunteered him at 3:29 p.m. I would like to elaborate on number 1. A lot of us actually appreciate course, considering that it is already the last day of June and some are about to open the school year this coming July. So there is that fear of shifting paradigms or fear of the new. So we advocate for this school year, at least while waiting for the revised GMRC and values education curriculum guides from DepEd. Most of the schools will be using SP curriculum guide by through articulation alignment, meaning to say whatever they have, they will try to check against. They will check against the competencies, the standards in content and performance using the guide. Thank you. So that will be all for grades. Thank you once for participants for this breakout session. And again, thank you, Sir. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Eileen, for the clarifications, and thank you also, Sir, the one who presented from your group. Any response from our panel of group from their concerns and issues? Though there are two of the concerns of the group was already addressed by Father Nolan a while ago. Meron po ba? Dr. Twyla, you have something to say?
Regarding the inclusion of social emotional learning, if you look at the ESP curriculum, it's full of SEL. It's actually SEL based ESP. So if you still need some more, then that will be or improvement or creativity to add some more LCs or learning competencies if you don't see the SEL that you need there. But basically the ESP is SEL based actually. There are
Yeah, Doc Twyla, you are right. Actually po, one of our presenters just put it together with a cluster of the values because there is that framework coming from DepEd as well on the SEL. But as to the competencies, they are aligned. So she just identified the there are 5 components of the SEL, I think 5 or 6. So she just identified it and put it intently on the last column where the values where we used to have our values. But there will be no problem as to the competencies kasi nga ano po, malakas tayo sa SEL because of those elements coming from the ESP.
As regards the implementation, in our group earlier at the main yung mga hindi nakapasok sa mga breakout rooms, we gathered them all in the plenary session, and we had also something great there that we have done with them, because one had volunteered an output, and we critiqued, and they learned. I hope that they learned a lot from the critiquing, and I told them, and he volunteered to show the existing syllabus, where they have the existing syllabus, but they integrated some of the LCs that they got from the integrated curriculum guide. I'm talking about Archie's presentation or output from Manresa, Paranaque. And thank you for that. Brave soul, eka nga. And we gave them 2 options because there was an issue of the implementation. Are they required to implement? Is our syllabus okay if we just pick out some of it to be integrated in our existing syllabus, and we are used to doing it already, so why not use it and just get some to integrate into the existing. So I said there are 2 options. First, the full implementation. If you're ready for the implementation and you have, like, for instance, the NCR that had prepared almost all the modules now, then they're ready for full implementation. Why not? No? And that's the best that could be done, because it's an opportunity. As we have said, we assure you that it's a good curriculum and approved and validated and approved by the DepEd. Number 2, the other option is that the one that Archie had presented, like you have your existing syllabi, because he's teaching in grade 8. He has this existing syllabi, and all they did was to get some LCs from the integrated curriculum and distribute to where they were appropriately connected. But my advice is that they should see to it that there is really a balance of the integration. Kasi yung nakita ko, mostly CLE pa rin ang nangyayari. CLE pa rin ang leksyon at CLE pa rin yung materials being used in the development of the lesson. So my advice is that when you experiment on something, do it properly. So you have to do it properly by getting the integration, the integrated LCs, and implement as integrated and develop a module that is also integrated. Hindi lang lahat ay Christian living. Because if you are checked, wag naman sana ma-check kayo ng mag-check. They will clearly see as they have really closely evaluated all the LCs that we have submitted. And they discovered, I would like to repeat, they discovered missing LCs in the in-depth ed curriculum, and they asked us to complete 11 in all. No, 7 in one level and 3 in another level. So talagang pag kung nila hahanapin nila yung LCs, because they say that those are non-negotiable. And more so when the law is there, they will have all the right to check every LC that is supposed to be there in your curriculum. So that's my advice regarding the implementation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Twyla.
But it's good to start doing it now. However you do it, or however much you are going to do it, it's always good to start now, because this year is a good practice. It's a good exercise to help you gain the competence and the competence to integrate, to teach values education and integrated in ELC. Mesh together. The advantage here is that even if you can afford to have separate subjects, you can afford to hire separate two teachers, and spend doubly for these separate two courses. The advantage is that iisa lang naman develop natin human person, and they are meshed together in these integrated LCs that we have formulated. So if you are developing pagka maka-Diyos sa bata, pagka maka-Diyos halos lahat ng CLE, ay dina-develop nyo din yung pagka makabansa, kalikasan na to. Pagsamahin na lang sa isang magtuturo at teacher ang magmamaster noong level na yun, at mamasterin niya paano na-integrate. Iisang kaluluwa lang yung kanyang tinuturo. No? So yun naman ang aming pitch doon sa integrated curriculum.
Yes.
No? Kasi kung mga mayayamang eskwelahan, kaya nila yun. Pero matagal ko na rin inaasam gaya ni Father Nolan, hindi kami magkasama, magkalayo pa kami noon, nasa university pa ako. Yung aking graduate students na mga madre at mga pare ay nagsasabing, bakit hindi nung nalaman nila ang coverage ng edukasyon sa pagpapahalaga pa rin noon, ay sabi nila, bakit hindi natin integrate niya? Okay, ang project ninyo ngayon, submit a term paper that proposes a framework of an integrated curriculum for nagkaganon na ako noon as 1990s. Yes, because I started teaching values education in 1988 with Dr. Sumbing. So, noon pa, nag-aasam na rin ako for the private school. Okay, so
okay, thank you so much, Dr. Twyla. That's very clear, and giving us enlightenment with that part, of implementations, preparations of implementations. Now, I want to call in the group of Sir Hansel, room D, grade 9, for their issues and concerns that you want to raise. Yes, Father Nolan. Do you have an additional?
Robert is raising his hand. Si Robert.
Okay. Sir Robert, do you have something to? Yeah, right. I see that also, Father Nolan. Thank you. Before I call in Sir Hansel, Sir Robert, may you say something?
Thank you for acknowledging po, Miss
Okay.
Joyce and
sorry for that.
Father Nolan. Opo, clarification lang po ito, Ma'am Joyce, regarding po dun sa nabanggit po ni Dr. Twyla. Tama naman po yung integration, pero Clarify ko lang din po, Father Nolan, kung tama po yung aking understanding. Yes, pwede naman pong applicable naman po to integrate po yung CLE and values education. Pero po kasi, since Catholic institution, baka po hindi ko po sinasabing isi-set aside, pero possible po kasi na may mga, as a CLE teacher, may mga doctrines din po kasi ang Catholic Church na kailangan din namin pong ibigay po sa mga student. So yun yung nagiging ko lang po, dilemma or confusion. Paano po namin yung doctrines of the Catholic Church sa mga bata kung integrated naman po talaga or kailangan i-integrate ang values ed sa CLE like what we are planning right now po. Yun lang naman po. Salamat po.
Father
Would
Nolan,
anyone? Yeah, okay. So first and foremost, ang gumawa po ng integration is mga pare at mga madre. So basically, I assure you that in terms of we never sacrifice and we never put into question sidelines the faith that we have, no? So if you notice in the presentation, you have there the doctrine, moral, and worship. However, what I can see is that in the previous mindset we have, dami natin pinapasok ng mga doctrines, dami. So yun naging focus natin. Ang gawin nyo ganito, Robert, what you can do, di ba, any existing materials that you have, and you've been using for the past years, magagamit mo pa rin yan ng enrichment. So with the integrated curriculum, kung may nakita ka pa doon na dapat mong dagdagan, you can enhance it with the doctrine you have. You use the catechism, you use the Bible, pwede pa yon, no? No problem with that. Let me assure you, I think Sister Eileen also can assure you, and the rest of the writers, that this was a long process. No? This was a long process. That's why we even involved Eche to really get the imprimatur for this. No? However, for those who are listening to us, should any one of you think that there was one major topic that may have been missed and you wanted it to be put and integrated, you just message me, because we will be rewriting this. Now we will be rewriting this when the actual GMRC curriculum is out, and we will align again this integrated curriculum, and by then we will try to see to it that anything you have in mind that you think we failed to put as part of the curriculum, which is very essential and non-negotiable, then the next time we will not be able to miss it, if there are. Thank you.
Yes, Sister Eileen, you have some additional.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir Robert. Yeah, I understand your concern. Group, we have that issue on the constant updating of comments on the curriculum guide, because it's a work in progress, especially that the curriculum guide of the values ed and the GMRC revision. And I told my group 7 and 8 that we may not be the best CL teacher, but we did our best in the articulation of the topic from all the essentials. And if ever we miss, it's really not hindi namin sadya. So kung may makita, sabi nga ni Father, if there is a non-negotiable na talagang kailangan mo doon, we will be welcoming your suggestion. Kasi pwedeng i-box na ito yung CL1, CL2, 4, 5, 6. Yun kasi yung medyo na bago ngayon, yung parang na-repackage siya. That is why in one at a glance parang ay kulang yan, nawala yung ganito ganito. Pero pag tiningnan natin siya as a whole, as a curriculum from K to 10, makikita naman natin yung kabuuan. Kami nakwento kanina dun sa kasi nakahabol kami sa session with Dr. Twyla ng mga trap sa main room na nabanggit niya yon. Pinagdaanan namin ngayon, sino ba nang mag-give up nung decades, diba? But then, we really have to shift our paradigms and be open to these changes. But I'm not saying perfect na siya. In fact, doon sa presentation ko, may nakita na nga ako, nilagyan ko na kaagad ng red so that when we come for revision, nakita ko na para dito na hindi pop up during the writing kasi nga syempre no hindi naman ganoon din yung time na nabigay namin kasi nagkaroon ng changes from pre-pandemic to pandemic and post-pandemic. So we gladly welcome suggestion for the improvement. Sabi ko sa kanila, remember what Father Nolan is highlighting. Walang may-ari nito, walang isang publishing company may-ari nito. Tayo ang may-ari. Lahat ng Catholic churches. Napaka-generous nga ni Father nag-umpisa nito, hindi niya ino-own yung ownership nung CG. At pag napaganda natin to, para sa atin lahat na, di ba? So we will have really a very good CLESP or GMRC with your help. Kaya maganda na makarinig talaga kami. That's why yung fourth suggestion namin or issue namin is really to come up with at least group chat na mabilis na makikita na, ma'am, nakita ko po ito. Tapos ino-note na lang kaagad para pag nag-meet kami, hindi mawawala yon kasi nga yung articulation na mangyayari, yung initial use nito, I'm sure marami kayong makikita na hindi namin nakita noon. Kasi syempre magkakaiba tayo ng konteksto. Ayan.
Yes.
So, we are not declaring na hindi perfect talaga ito, nihil obstat. Walang ganun na. So, ganun talaga to. Work in progress pa as to the CL. Pero yung ESP, na-check against the competencies, kaya nga sabi ni Ma'am hinanapan talagang isa-isa. Kaya yun yung sabi ko dun sa mga mag-articulate or mag-align na pwede nyo namang i-revise yung naka-blue but yung naka-black as much as possible. Keep para kung na-revise nyo yung naka-blue, yung pinanggalingan na ESP hindi magagalaw. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, our Sister Eileen, for that additional explanations. And I think that is very clear to all of us that, we have some still room for improvement in this journey of ours in using and implementations of this curriculum. Sir Hansel, you can now take the floor, the mic.
Okay, good
Yes.
afternoon po. Good afternoon, everyone. So I thought I have the gift to motivate the participants in our room to share. Unfortunately, with di pala, no. But anyway, we enjoyed our sharing, we enjoyed sharing, especially on issues and concerns. Yung isa yun yung content na parang apprehensive. I believe that people in our room are very much willing to implement it, but a little apprehensive. What will happen to this content? What will happen? What are the references? And then another thing is the readiness and siguro yung qualification of the teacher, kasi nga you mentioned kanina, pero more or less thank you for the suggestion of Father Nolan, na somehow na-address na natin yung FB page, yung baka gusto mag-enroll sa UST, i-message lang siya. But I believe it's more on paradigm shift, no, na let's start from scratch. Let's abandon, Dr. Twyla, ikaw ang nagsabi sa akin na ito, Hansel, iwanan mo muna kinasanayan mo. Ayun, kasi tama yung sabi kanina, especially from Dr. Twyla din, na the same person. Kasi before, ang natin is masyadong fragmented yung pagtingin na spiritual, dapat CLE, but one and the same human person. So nakikita ko sa amin, very much willing, no, but a little apprehensive, but I think wag matakot mag-try. And talaga namang no choice tayo kasi talagang i-implement natin ito at maganda yung gift na sinasabi lagi ni Father Nolan, gift na to sa atin. So ayun, sana na-motivate ko din na kahit 1 grade level lang po. Sabi ko nga sa group namin kanina, kasi pag after this school year at mag-i-implement na tayo dahil based sa ako ng DepEd, mas mahihirapan tayo. We in SAINSCO, we implemented for the last school year only in one grade level, grade 9. Yun lang po. So kayo, no, mas nakikita. Yon. So paradigm shift, accept the challenge. Yun po. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Hansel. I think parang ano yun, no? Parang magandang pagbuboast ng moral lalo na doon sa mga willing and apprehensive sa pag-implement nito. I think there's so much concern with that group of grade 9. So you have the gift of convincing maybe and explaining to them and and giving them the gift, and hopefully they accepted the gift and then also nurture the gift. Now we call in grade 10, for the last group to share their concerns and issues also before we're going to sum up everything in this webinar, because our time is running fast. Maraming tayong tanong siguro yung iba dyan, pero pigil-pigilan natin kasi meron pa namang darating ibang mga pagkakataon na magkakaroon tayo ng articulation per level na siguro mas importante doon din natin yun mailabas, no? So may we call in grade 10, who will share with grade 10? Sir Jerry Melpacania. You're there na, ready.
Good afternoon po, everyone. Good afternoon din po to all listeners, watchers. Ayan, tawag dito, I ask one or two to at least air their issues or concern to the plenary so that everyone else would also hear it. I do not know if this was already been taken from the previous questions, but I guess the question of Sir Modesto is relevant. If Sir is still here, Sir Modesto, I think from.
Hello po, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm from Miriam po. Actually, this concern is the concern of our teachers in Miriam also. We noticed that there are a lot of topics and learning competencies that we need to implement this year. And we understand that it is because it is based on the ESP. But DepEd also released MELCs for ESP. So can we also expect, or can we suggest that we can also have a MELCs in this curriculum po? Kasi right now po, our time for discussion are quite limited. We only have one synchronous and one asynchronous class per week, unlike the normal class setting when we have 3 sessions a week. So ngayon po medyo limited, and then we would like to support our students by making sure that that we can provide them an environment that would lead them to mental health, like something like that.
Okay, thank you for that question, Sir Modesto. Maybe Dr. Twyla can answer that inquiries and question of Sir Modesto.
I agree that you concentrate on the MELCs. And the MELCs, if you have a list of the MELCs from kinder to grade 10 with you, you can just check. You can just you check which of the LCs in the integrated are MELCs. So you can just put a circle or check them so that you would know which ones to prioritize. These MELCs are priority. So I agree that you take them up over the other LCs. They are all there. In ESP, kaunti lang yung, actually 80%. 80% ang na-retain sa MELCs. So 20% lang ang medyo pwede nang hindi galawin ano. So but you will see them all the MELCs in the integrated curriculum.
So we just follow the code po, yung code number.
Oo, yung bagong code na I would advise, just like what I advised also in the plenary earlier, to use the code in the integrated in the integrated. If you are getting the LCs from the integrated curriculum, you retain the integrated curriculum index there or the code. Okay, but the MELCs have their own codes, but well, you can add the MELCs code if you want, but what is important is to retain the code in the code in the integrated curriculum, so that we'll know that you are indeed using the integrated curriculum.
Thank you po.
What I am saying here is all the MELCs listed are all there in the integrated curriculum.
Yes. Okay, some more? Any Sister Eileen, you want to say something more?
No more, okay na.
Okay.
Nasabi na ni
Thank you
Doc
so
Laila
much.
that
How about Father
ano na.
Nolan and the rest of the facilitators? You want to say something more before we're going to move on?
Yung ating grupo sa plenary, there is just one big concern because they were trapped. They were not able to join and they were not able to see the complete presentation in the breakout rooms. They are requesting for the complete recording of the proceedings.
Yes.
So
we're asking the facilitators, Dr. Twyla, if they will give us the what is this? If you can allow us to share all the recorded materials that we have in our group breakout groups to be sent to our the participants who are not able to enter into their breakout rooms. Okay lang po ba mga dear facilitators? Kasi marami kaming naiwan kanina sa plenary room at gustong-gusto nilang marinig yung discussions ninyo, explanations ninyo, and presentations ninyo. And what we cannot directly promise a while ago, because Dr. Twyla, we really have to ask the consent of the facilitators if we can send that and share that to all those who were not able to enter the groups. Is it okay? So that the the secretariat will bring all those materials to be sent to the rest of the group. Okay lang po ba mga facilitators?
And you ask Marte also if he can possibly do that.
Yeah. Sir Marte, can we possibly do that to send all those recorded materials and the rest of the presentations of our presenters and facilitators?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, that's possible now, Dr. Twyla. Thank you so much for that, because there are lots of requests and we already asked their email addresses, and I know the secretariat's already taking all the emails so that we can send all materials available for you and to be of help for everyone who are now starting to prepare their implementations of the curriculum. Father Nolan, you have anything to say before we're going to for the discussions? You have something to say more?
Yeah, let me do my closing today. So the first thing I mentioned this morning, preveniente gratia, the grace before. The second is kairos. The third is anamnesis. No, remember, we have the fourth. The fourth is kenosis. Kenosis. Everybody's aware of what kenosis is. An act of emptying and being receptive to the will of the Lord. I think that's our duty every single day, to really find the will of the Lord and do what He really wants. No? Today, the gospel, the first reading mentioned about Ismael. Ismael means God listens. If God listens, then let's also listen to Him. The last will be koinonia, means fellowship and communion. Let us be together on this. No? So I thank all of you for attending and spending your whole day in this seminar, and expect for the upcoming seminar. As promised, I'll request a web page for us for the sharing of modules. Second, we will be coming up with a seminar of articulating this curriculum per level. And what's the third? Well, you send your email to us and we'll send to you the recorded video of the seminar we had today, and even the seminar we had the last time with administrators. So thank you and may God bless all of us. Magmimisa na si Father. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the excellent discussions and presentations. Surely this would help everyone here in guiding their preparations and for the implementations of this curriculum. Once again, thank you, Sir Jade, Miss Michelle, Sister Eileen, Sir Hansel, Sir Jeremel Pacanya, and thank you very much, Father Nolan and Dr. Twyla for the guidance. And everyone, I asked you to open up their cameras so that we can have some picture taking for our documentation. Please, Sir Marty, maybe we can take some photos on the screen that we have here. Okay, I don't know if Father Nolan, can you still give us the final blessing? O nagmimisa na si Father Nolan. Sister Eileen, can you give us the final prayer and bless us also?
And Father. So let's thing that we have received for today, and we are really blessed. We are gifted to tayo pinagpala sa maghapong ito. And thank you most sincerely for staying with us. The Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father of goodness, we thank you for this encounter in which we have shared our dreams, projects, and our difficult to our vision and our mission in the world. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Hail
Amen.
Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God,
pray
for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning,
is now, and ever shall
and will
be,
be forever.
Amen.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Sister Eileen. As we end this chapter of our journey for integral evangelizations, I would like to share this quote. If you have the gift, you share it. And when you receive the gift, nurture it. Now, let's call it a day. This has been your facilitator moderator for the day, Joyce Corpus Miral, signing off. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so